Sharon vehemently opposed her daughter's marriage to geeky Alex, a departure from the princess she had raised. However, Emily's love for Alex rendered her indifferent to her mother's objections. As the wedding approached, Sharon launched into her campaign of persuasion. "Emily, take a good look at Alex. What kind of man is he? Really? A philologist? I've never heard of millionaire philologists. And just look at him, with those old-fashioned glasses. Does he even realize that contact lenses exist? Mom, why do you assume I want a stereotypical athlete or a hotshot manager who sees me as an arm candy?" retorted Emily, annoyed. "Don't play coy with me. I just want a real man by your side." "Someone dependable," Sharon retorted, losing patience. "And I want Alex by my side. He understands me, supports my dreams, and isn't afraid to help out around the house." Emily raised her voice. While Sharon momentarily relented, she remained determined. From Emily's birth, Sharon meticulously planned her daughter's life, dictating her education, hobbies, and even friendships. She envisioned Emily as a socialite destined for a successful marriage, a task she deemed challenging. Sharon's dominance left Emily's father powerless to intervene, fearing her wrath. Though he occasionally attempted to offer input, Sharon swiftly shut him down. "Let's make a deal. I know what's best for our daughter," she asserted, cutting off any potential disagreement from her husband. David ultimately relented, as he hated confrontations. Besides, he genuinely wanted the best for his daughter. As Emily matured, she became passionate about journalism. She envisioned herself writing articles on pressing social issues, helping others, and immersing herself in the heart of current events. However, when she shared her aspirations with her mother, Sharon erupted in anger. "Are you out of your mind? What nonsense is this? Journalism isn't a suitable profession for a woman. You'll be constantly traveling, staying in cheap motels, eating fast food. You won't have time for a family. No decent man would put up with that. Forget this nonsense. Enroll in an interior design course instead. A friend of mine is starting a new class. It's a creative and trendy field, perfect for a young woman like you." Emily glimpsed the life her mother envisioned for her and realized she had to take a stand. For the first time, she insisted on her own path, despite her mother's protests and threats. Soon, Emily relocated to the bustling New York City and settled in with her sister, Lisa. "Lisa will keep an eye on you, maybe even talk some sense into you," Sharon cautioned her daughter. Lisa was thrilled to have her niece with her. Contrary to Sharon's expectations, Lisa didn't view Emily's decision as foolish. Instead, she wholeheartedly supported her niece. "That's right, Emily. You must chase your dreams. I, too, once yielded to my mother's wishes, and what did it get me? I married at her insistence, only to be divorced by my husband a few years later. I was left to fend for myself in this world. I made it through, but now I rely solely on myself." Emily excelled in her studies effortlessly. She wasn't one to be distracted by parties, outings, or boys. 3 years went by smoothly until one fateful day when Alex entered her life. He quite literally stumbled into Emily's world. She was engrossed in conversation with classmates when she felt a tap on her back. Turning around, she found a shy guy in glasses. "Sorry about that. Could you please forgive me? Maybe I could make it up to you by buying you a cup of coffee." "I'm Alex," he said with a smile. "Is this how people usually introduce themselves now?" Emily replied with a grin. "But I suppose I won't say no to coffee." "Emily," she said, shaking his hand. From that moment on, they became inseparable. Alex, a year younger than Emily, studied philology. Despite his stocky build, he was a good listener and possessed such incredible charisma that Emily quickly fell for him. Moreover, Alex was surprisingly handy around the house. "Alex, you're like a domestic wizard. I can't even boil water." Emily marveled as they moved into a small rented apartment together. "Well, you see, I grew up without a mom. and my dad was always working long hours. So I had to learn how to do everything myself, Alex explained with a smile. You're a lifesaver. However, Sharon didn't share her daughter's enthusiasm. One day, she decided to make an unannounced visit to Emily, assuming Emily lived with her sister, Lisa. She was unpleasantly surprised to discover that Emily was living with a young man in their own rented apartment. What were you thinking? Why didn't you tell me? Sharon confronted Lisa. Why should I? Emily's an adult. If she didn't feel the need to tell you, then that's on you. Lisa retorted sharply before reluctantly providing Emily's address. A young man in an apron, with a dish towel slung over his shoulder, greeted Sharon as she stood at the doorway. Who are you looking for? He asked politely. I might have the wrong address. Sharon hesitated, eyeing the unassuming young man. I'm looking for Emily. Emily's still at her classes. She'll be back soon. You must be her mother, right? You two look so alike. I'm Alex, the young man continued, stepping aside and inviting her in. Come on in. I'll make you some tea. I just made pancakes. Your name's Sharon, isn't it? Emily's told me all about you. She says you can be a bit strict. Perplexed, Sharon nodded and followed Alex inside. Who is this sweet roll? Could he possibly be Emily's boyfriend? No way, she thought to herself. Before long, Emily arrived, confirming Sharon's suspicions. Mom, why didn't you call ahead? Oh well, I see you've already met Alex, Emily said, kissing her mother on the cheek. As they sat at the table, Emily shared the latest news. They were considering marriage. Sharon couldn't believe her ears. Her daughter, and this mild-mannered man in an apron. She resolved to change her daughter's mind, feeling a surge of frustration towards Lisa for not informing her about Emily's involvement with this chunky nerd. Yet, Emily remained resolute, refusing to entertain any arguments. Mother and daughter clashed whenever Alex was the topic of conversation. Despite Sharon's dismay, the wedding went ahead. She barely sat through the ceremony, fleeing home afterward. She couldn't bear to witness her daughter seemingly throw her life away. In contrast, David, unlike his wife, was genuinely delighted for their daughter and even offered financial help to the young couple if needed. After completing her studies, Emily landed a job at a news station, transforming her life into a whirlwind of constant business trips. Meanwhile, Alex, following his graduation, became a high school English teacher. He loved his job and adored Emily. Whenever his wife was away, Alex willingly took charge of all household chores, washing, cleaning, cooking meals, all with a sense of joy and without complaint. Moreover, he offered unwavering support to Emily in her career endeavors. On the contrary, Sharon harbored hopes that her daughter's marriage would crumble. Every phone call with Emily began with the same critical tone. Well, honey, has your chunky nerd boyfriend flown the coop yet? Mom, why do you have to be so harsh? Emily would protest. I'm not being harsh, just realistic. Just wait, he'll leave eventually. He may seem shy, but even he will tire of your constant traveling. You neglect your household duties. Or is it more convenient for your nerd? While his wife works her tail off, he tidies up the house. Sharon would persist in her attacks. Why do you always say such hurtful things about Alex? It's admirable that he's resourceful and doesn't see helping his wife as demeaning. He allows me to pursue my career. Emily would retort, growing increasingly irritated. Sharon opted for a different approach. Upon learning that Emily was leaving for another business trip, Sharon seized the opportunity to speak with Alex in her absence. Though caught off guard by his mother-in-law's unexpected visit, Alex had no choice but to entertain her. Did you cook this again? Sharon queried during dinner. Alex nodded. What kind of man are you? You should be focusing on bringing home the bacon. You have a decent job, your wife is jetting off all over the country. And here you are, relaxing at home, barely lifting a finger. You're practically living off her. Do you not think we're content with our lifestyle? Alex countered. Emily is happy with me. And what will happen when you have a child? Emily will take maternity leave, and you'll have to support the family on your teacher's salary? Or do you expect us to bail you out? Sharon persisted. Alex stood up, his fists clenched. If you weren't my beloved wife's mother, I'd throw you out on your ear, he exclaimed, barely restraining himself. But since you are my mother-in-law, I'll make your bed now, head to my room, and attend to my own affairs. You can rest. Emily will be back tomorrow. I'll make my own way out. As if you'd throw me out, Sharon retorted, heading off to get dressed. The following day, Emily received a call from her mother. I overheard what you and Alex discussed while I was there. What kind of person are you, Mom? I wanted to share some happy news. Turns out, I'm pregnant. But it seems you can hardly share in our joy. All that's left in you is anger, Emily declared before hanging up. As her daughter's words sank in, Sharon slumped into her chair. She was soon to become a grandmother. Despite being pregnant, Emily continued to work. One day, she was offered the opportunity to write a report on the challenges faced by small towns in the southern US. Emily enthusiastically accepted the assignment. Maybe you shouldn't go, Alex voiced his concern. Don't worry, it's just a short trip. Everything will be fine. And I really want to work on this piece. Consider it my last business trip before childbirth. After that, I'll be stuck at home like a mommy, Emily pleaded with her husband. All right, Mommy Hen, go ahead, Alex agreed. The bus was stifling, the air conditioner malfunctioning. Suddenly, Emily felt dizzy. Her vision blurred, and she lost consciousness. When she came to, she found herself in the hospital. What happened? Emily asked, disoriented. It's okay, the doctor reassured her. You fainted due to the heat. It's nothing serious. While you were unconscious, your mother called. We assured her that you were fine. Oh, no, Emily groaned. Sharon, speaking with the doctor, immediately called Alex. You good-for-nothing husband. You should have stopped your pregnant wife from going on that trip. If anything happens to her or my grandchild, I'll hold you responsible, she yelled into the phone. Please, calm down. Emily just called. She's fine. She just felt unwell. And don't blame me for everything. Emily loves her job, and I couldn't stop her from going. Besides, it's still early in her pregnancy, Alex tried to explain. But Sharon refused to listen. I warned you, leech, she hissed before hanging up. Despite the scare during her business trip, Emily gave birth to a healthy baby on schedule. Sharon attended her daughter's discharge from the hospital, but didn't stay long. She was irritated by Alex's happiness, believing her daughter was lucky to have a child with him. She avoided visiting Emily, hoping that her daughter would struggle without financial support and come crawling back to her. Unbeknownst to her, David frequently visited his daughter and grandson, always bringing gifts. Emily didn't suffer financially, as Alex took on extra tutoring alongside his main job. However, she felt drained staying home with their child for 6 months. Alex, I love our son to pieces, but sometimes I feel like I'm going stir-crazy, she confided in her husband one day. I understand, Alex said, gently stroking her hand. You know what I've decided, you should go back to work. You've stopped breastfeeding. That's the only thing I can't do in your place. But I can manage everything else. Emily gratefully leaned into her husband. You're my rock. No, I'm the evil exploiter, the one who relied on a weak woman, Alex chuckled. At least, that's what your mother thinks. Oh, my mom is incorrigible. She can't forgive me for daring to live life on my own terms. Hopefully, she'll come around eventually. In the meantime, I'll ask Aunt Lisa to help you with the baby. A week later, Emily returned to work. Sharon attempted to provoke another argument, but Emily stood her ground. Mom, when you come to terms with the fact that I'm happy in my family and stop insulting my husband, You're welcome to visit. Until then, please don't call. I'm tired of the drama, Emily asserted. Sharon sought solace from her husband. David, can you believe it? Emily went back to work, and Alex agreed to be a stay-at-home dad. And Lisa offered to help them, the traitor. When will you let Emily live her life, Sharon? Do you want to push her away completely? David countered, his voice firm. Where are you going, David? Sharon asked, seeing him head for the door. I'm going to see my daughter and grandson. And you need to think about your behavior, David said before leaving. Alone in the living room, Sharon pondered her actions. Maybe she hadn't been entirely right about Alex. Maybe she'd been a bit controlling. I hope you enjoyed this story. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more awesome stories in the future. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey, and we'll see you next video.